Yes, let's go. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Put my phone on silent so no one be bugging me. So, how's everybody doing? I want to make sure you guys can hear me okay. You guys can see me okay. Today, I'm going to be talking about something near and dear to my heart, and I think it's something very important. Now, obviously, I always give you guys a lot of the tactical things and the strategies about how to invest in property. And honestly, it probably works in more than just vacant land investing. I wouldn't be surprised if this stuff carries over well to other types of real estate, stocks, crypto, whatever. Granted, I don't do those other things, but the mindset and the actions I take, the different what's the word I'm thinking about? I guess strategy overall on how I invest is can translate because I also use this in basketball. I use this in sports. I use this in engineering. So it works everywhere, at least so far it has with me. So before I begin, I want to make sure you guys can hear me okay. You can see me okay. I got my blue suit on. Good for me. But yeah, let's jump into it because I'm a minute late or so, a couple minutes late. So if you have any questions, as always, make sure you ask them in the chat, whether it's live, whether you're watching the replay, because I love to interact with you guys. I love to actually just help out any way that I can. And today is going to be it's going to be a harsh one. Some of you guys ain't going to like this one. I understand that a few of you guys, they may even leave the group. I don't think it'll be that serious, but what we're talking about, interest versus commitment. And what does that mean? So check it out. If you've ever said any of the following things, hey, I want to invest in land, but I need to pay off this debt first, or this credit card bill, or whatever it is first. Or you said, I'm going to go all in, but I need to get one deal done before I go all in, or something along those lines. What about you said, hey, I want to invest, but I don't want to risk my money? What if you said something like, I want to get started, but I just need to save up a little bit more? Okay, that's not a bad one. And how about, hey, this all sounds good. I just don't know if I can do it or if I have the time. If you said any of those before, raise your hand, say so in the comments. I've said a lot of those things before. I need to save up a little bit more. I need to fix my credit stuff. I need to, I don't know if I can do it at the level I want to do it. So I'm not trying to act like I'm above all this. I've said these things too, but I can tell you from personal experience, these are all lies and bullshit. All of it. All of it. I'm going to tell you a bit of a story. All right. So this one's a little bit interesting, and hopefully, at first you guys won't get it, but you'll see. So there was this guy, his name, we'll call him Rob, and he had big future plans, right? And well, this guy is from the East Coast. We'll just say, I don't know, New Jersey or something. And he was going to school part-time, but then he dropped out. He was going to go to college part-time, but then you're like, I want to be a salesperson. I could make a little bit more money. I could do stuff now. No, so far he was doing pretty well as a salesperson. So, things were okay. And every day he'd go to lunch, and no matter where he was, he came back and had the same thing, he ordered the same thing every time. Probably the tuna. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I think it was a tuna. He always sat in the same spot, ordered the same thing, had the same view, same. Predictability, consistency. Also, it was more, what's the word? Security, so to speak. So you would think, hey man, maybe he just really likes that diner. Maybe he likes the tuna. Like get off Rob's back. I'm like, no. Why he was really there? Because he liked the girl. There was a waitress that worked there, and he really liked her. He thought she was very attractive. Every time she came and served his food or took his order, she was very polite, very personable, very agreeable. A nice woman from what it looks like from outside. So every time he wanted to ask her out and talk to her a little bit more past the here's my order, such a thing. He always got a little bit tongue-tied, got a little nervous, didn't know what to say, didn't know what to do, get sweaty. So then he just, instead of actually saying what he wanted to say, he would just order the same old bullshit. All right, it happens to the best of us. Now, one day he had enough of his own incompetence when it came to the fairer sex. So he'd made a vow, like, you know what, I'm going to get myself together because I really like this girl and I want to make sure I can date this woman and perhaps make her my wife. So he goes, all right, I'm going to make this happen right now. So he goes to her and he was like, and he orders his food. So he punked out again. But then he reasoned to himself, you know why I can't say nothing to her? It's because I don't have my life together. I got to prepare. I got to be ready for someone like this. So he's like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm not going to just, do better at work. I'm going to go back to school. I'm a re-enroll in college. I'm no longer going to be a dropout. I'm going to get that degree or finish my associates or whatever it is. And I'm going to be ready. And I'm going to do better at work so I can have more money and I can impress her with that. And then I'm going to be ready. And then I'm going to go to the gym too. I got to look good. I got to pump iron. I got to get swole up in here. I got to have that beach bod. Then I'll be ready. So if I have more money, I have a better body, and I have a degree, so you have no choice but to say yes to me, and I'll be easily and confidently able to talk to her. But while I'm doing all this, while I'm getting in shape and I'm, getting my career right and I'm getting my education, I'll just send her some letters every day. Just let her know I'm thinking about her. And so kind of put myself on her map. So he does that. He made a commitment to himself. He's like, all right, let's do it. So he enrolled into school. He actually goes and starts going to the gym a couple of times a week, lifting weights, doing some cardio. He actually does better at work. He starts showing up early. He takes his work a little bit more seriously, and his superiors, they see that, they take note of it. They start to give him more responsibility, give him a little bit of a raise. The standard stuff when people actually apply themselves and don't just go to work to socialize and just kill time until 5 o'clock. So he did it. He was looking good. And a year later, he was going to talk to this girl. Now, up to this time, he kept sending her letters, love letters, trying to be old fashioned and cute and all that. And he was like, one day she's going to reply. One day she's going to reply. She never did. He's like, all right, well, that's fine. I'm ready to go into the restaurant and I'm going to ask her out. So when he finally came to the diner, because it's been over a year, she came and hugged him and said hello. And, oh my God, where have you been? And, oh, you look great, this and that. And he's like, oh, well, thanks. Hey, I went back to school and I got an education. She's like, oh, I didn't know you were doing that. Like, oh yeah. I went to work. I started doing better at work. I got raises. Now look at the fancy car that I drive. Oh, wow. I didn't even know you even work. Wow. Because again, they never really communicate. He said, I went to the gym and as you can feel on my biceps and everything, I lifted weights and I got a little stronger and my physique got a little better. She was like, wow, okay. He's like, hey, so while I'm here, would you like to, maybe go out with me or something, maybe a date this weekend? And she goes, I'd love to, but I can't. And he's like, well, why can't you? She goes, I just got engaged. He's like, oh man, damn. Well, who'd you get engaged to? The mailman, the guy that's been delivering his letters every day. So here's the thing. While my boy Rob was actually out there, quote unquote, getting ready, the mailman was just taking care of business. He just acted. He saw what he wanted and he did what he could with what he had. End up getting the girl and he lived happily ever after. Legend has it, Rob is still out there getting ready, right? So he did some good things, but the things that he really wanted, he put off. Now, obviously, this story has a reason that I'm telling you. Can you guess what it is? Put in the comments. You can guess what it is, right? It's the same thing as we talked about a few minutes ago about, hey, I just need to get this done, or I got to do that, or I got to learn more, I got to watch more YouTube, I got to get money, whatever. All lies. They're all lies. It sounds good in theory, doesn't it? But we know the bottom line. If we really want something, and I guarantee you have a story like this in your life right now, that you've actually wanted something and that the outside world or just the regular circumstances said, hey, this is not the time. You can't do it. You're not ready. You fill in the blank. But somehow you wanted it bad enough, you made it happen. It wasn't easy. It wasn't fun. It wasn't comfortable. And that's right, Jen. It's about taking action. And a lot of us don't. So the thing is this, a lot of people, they see the end result. They see, oh, okay, this person's been investing in land. He's doing well. This person has been hitting the gym. Look at his physique. This person's been doing X, Y, and Z. And you see the end result, but you don't see the countless hours of putting in work, of making mistakes, of actually seeking advice from those who've gotten better and actually applying what they learn. A lot of people ask for advice and they don't do it. Like, in fact, it's funny. We'll be envious of the car, or envious of the person who doesn't have debt anymore. We'll be envious of the person who can give a lot more to their church or to charity. We'll be envious of all of those things, the fancy clothes and what have you. But I've never heard anybody say, you know what, man, I'm so jealous of that person's worth ethic. I wish I could work as hard as him, right? Because that's not things we envy. Like I never heard someone say, oh man, I really wish I can, I can't wait till I put in countless hours and make a ton of mistakes. So I really truly learn this craft and be really good at it. You don't hear that too often. You really don't. So why am I talking about this? Because I'm talking about the commitment versus interest. And let's be honest, a lot of you guys out there, you have an interest in land, but you're not committed. So an interest basically says, hey, I'll do the things that I need to do in land investing or whatever else it is in life when I feel like it, when it's convenient, when I'm not too inconvenienced. Versus commitment, we're like, I made a decision, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to make it happen. Let's break it down to something even easier. Let's just say you decide to lose some weight and you figured or you heard that, hey, because of my work schedule, I can only get in my workout in at, 5 or 6 a.m., something really early. Sure, day one, you're excited, you're motivated, you're ready to go. The way our brains are wired when we have certain changes like this, we have the energy to kind of actually do those things because we're trying to make it a routine. So day one, you're in there. You might have, you may even have your clothes ready the next day. You're ready to get up and, you're up and out of bed before your alarm even goes off and you put on your new gym clothes and you can't wait to head to the gym or even work out at home, whatever it is. And then you do it and it's cool. Day two comes, you're like, okay, yeah, I'm doing it. I'm in there. And then day three, and then day four, day five, and then day six, oh, I got something to do. I would do it, but X, Y, and Z happened, or I had a really late night, or it's Saturday, I don't want to do it. I was like, fine, I'll get to it tomorrow. Day seven comes, maybe you go to the gym, maybe you don't. Day eight, oh yeah, I got this big presentation in the morning. I can't do it. I can't figure out a way. And then by, I don't know, 2 weeks in, you're already done. You've already quit. You may not have said it out loud. You may not have actually admitted it to yourself, but then you look back at your calendar, you notice you're only consistent that first couple of days. Since then, you had a spotty track record and you had no intention of actually finishing. That is interest. Life got in the way and you allowed it. And because quote unquote life was more powerful than your desire to change or to actually get the things that you want, it didn't happen. Here's something that you may not understand. There's a part of your brain called the amygdala. And it is the part that goes off when there's a threat or danger. Now, when we actually are in our prehistoric time, so to speak, when things were cool and they're calm and they were what we're used to seeing, our brains were cool because we knew there was an imminent threat. We knew there wasn't no danger. We can just continue living our hunter-gatherer lives. But as soon as something in the environment changed, the amygdala would go off like something's different. What's going on? Is it a predator? Is it a rival tribe? Is it something I need to be aware of? Back then, that worked out really well to keep us alive. And that's the goal of the species. Stay alive, multiply, let the genes keep going and passing on. But here in 2022, that amygdala is slowing you down. So the change isn't some predator in the bushes coming to get you. The change is just a different work ethic or a different thought process that your amygdala is going off of and it's making you freak the fuck out. And when you do, you're not just going crazy like somebody's trying to kill you, even though it can feel that way without you realizing it. That's when the excuses come in. That's when quote unquote life gets in the way. That's when we're too tired or we're too busy or we're too this or we're too that to actually do the things that we said we wanted. And when you don't understand that, it's very easy to fall into it because it's not like a conscious thought. The conscious thought, that part where you're kind of thinking, that's part of your prefrontal cortex. And that part of the brain is much newer than the old part, like the amygdala and the, I can't even think of the other parts of the brain that are a little older, that control more of the reflexes and the fight or flight responses and things like that. So in general, what you got to do is understand, first of all, understand, and number two, you got to work around it. The beautiful thing is you can actually, I wouldn't call it a trick, train your brain to do the things that you want. So now, quote unquote, constant change and improvement is the normal baseline, is what makes your amygdala kind of chill out a little bit. And it's not the thing that kind of freaks you out. So far, am I making sense? Because I haven't even give you the good stuff yet. I'm just giving you some background so you can understand what I'm about to lay down. Cool, 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 cool. Now, before I give you the good stuff, let me remind you of one thing, because you're not alone in this. As a land investor, I talk to so many people who are selling me their property. And you know how many times have I heard somebody say, yeah, I bought the property 10, 20, 30 years ago, and I was planning to build a house on it. I'm like, oh, did you build a house? No. I bought the property to do X, Y, and Z. Did you do it? No. Why? You tell me. It happens all the time. Regular folk don't like change. Maybe they're just unaware of how their brains work, because, you know, we all have the same type of brain. It's just, how do we want to proceed in life? Or they don't want things bad enough. They have an interest, but they're not committed to the results. They didn't make that decision. This is going to happen no matter what. I'm going to make sure it happens. So let's talk commitment a bit. Now, what I like to do is make a checklist or routine I like to go through. Shout out to Taylor Welch with the Traffic and Funnels crew. I don't know if they came up with this, but they really preach the idea of having a morning success formula. And a morning success formula basically helps you paint a picture of who you want to be. It's that way you stop making decisions on where you are, and you make decisions on how you want to be. And what I mean by that is this: a lot of people want to invest in land, and let's say you just need you think you need $5,000 to invest in a property. I mean, they'll probably get you a pretty decent property for $5,000. And because you don't have $5,000 available, you don't actually take steps in actually getting a $5,000 property, a commitment to buy from somebody. You don't find owners, you don't contact them, you don't talk to them, you don't do anything. You just wait till you get that 5,000. The same way your boy Rob is kind of waiting to get better to talk to the girl. And because of that, your daily actions don't change. And when your daily actions don't change, guess what? Your results don't change, right? What's that definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result? Well, if you're doing the same shit over and over again every day, why do you think your result will be any different? So with the daily success or the morning success formula, you start to see things as if where you want to be. So you don't see, hey, I'm this person who's broke and I live with my mama and all that. You know, no, I live in my own house. I do my own thing. I make things happen. I actually look to invest at these levels and all these other things. So how can we do that? Well, the good thing, success always leaves clues. So I'm gonna give you some right now. You can write these down. I got these from my favorite basketball player, Steph Curry. Again, a lot of the stuff I've learned in basketball, I apply to land and it works out pretty well. So why not ask one of the highest rated, the best, number one, he's a three-point shooting champion. He has a record of threes. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame. He was voted as one of the 75 greatest players to ever play the game. So it's safe to say what he does and what he commits to is a good thing to model if we want that type of success. So here's the thing you can do. Number one, the first thing he does, he treats every game the same, regardless of stakes. So it doesn't matter if it's a preseason game or a championship game. He treats it the same. So what does that mean? Well, he warms up the same. He treats his body right the same. He makes sure he reads the scouting report, meaning he's just understanding what the other team likes to do so he can make his game plan, all that. What does that mean for us as land investors? Well, every day is the same as in there's an opportunity to acquire another piece of property that's going to change our lives. It could be a property you sell for $20,000. It could be a property you sell for $5,000. It doesn't matter. Is another day to acquire another property that change your life. So that means we got to approach it the same. We're constantly getting offers out there. We're constantly looking to communicate with owners. We're constantly looking for new people who are late on taxes so we can contact them first. When people don't call us back, we call them again. We're constantly approaching the same way because we all see that everything, the stakes are always the same. The second thing he does, he makes sure he gets an efficient and a good night's rest before. Why? Because if you're working on half a brain because you're too tired and you're thinking coffee and Red Bull is going to keep you through the day, you're sadly mistaken. Studies have shown that without the proper rest, your brains don't function as well. It's easy for you to get off track. It's easier for you to panic on things. So half the reason why you may be freaking out over quote unquote change is not just your amygdala, because your brain is half asleep and it's like, I don't know what to do. I'm overworked. So getting a good night's rest will definitely help you. I think that's self-explanatory right there. The third thing, you gotta make sure you eat right. A lot of times why people feel so tired is not just because they didn't sleep right, or they need a morning coffee or afternoon coffee, because they don't drink enough water. That tiredness is dehydration. Well, why am I telling you this in land investing? Well, because guess what? The reason why you feel so damn tired after work, because you're probably dehydrated. And if you're tired and you're dehydrated, you don't have the discipline to actually do what you need to do every day to act like every stakes are the same. And it's not your fault. Discipline is not it's a finite thing where it runs out. It's the same way if you started sprinting, eventually you're going to get tired. You're going to be huffing and puffing. Your discipline works the same way. Sure, you can train your discipline to go longer and longer periods, but in general, it's going to run out, and it needs to be replenished with basically going on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, whatever, and zoning out. 4, develop a good routine that you can do every day. So if you are going to make sure that you're trying to get a property once a week, understanding I'm probably gonna have to talk to, I don't know, 500 people, or at least contact 500 people, whether or not they get back to me is a different story. If you have a good routine, that's going to be okay, because you'll make it happen every week. So maybe you break that 500 to 100 a day. And maybe it's just a text blast and you just answer people as you can because it's text messages, or maybe you send out mailers or you mail them yourself. But whatever it is that you're going to do, you got to make sure that you get a good routine that you can do every day. That way, whether you feel like it or not, you're going to get the things done. This is what a commitment is, right? Every day you're deciding how it's going to get done. Now, just because you made a decision doesn't mean we shouldn't make the decision easier to do every day. So you got to figure out what that is for you, but you get a good routine. Maybe it's just a certain time you block out in the day. Maybe it's just a manner of how you do things, but you need a routine to make sure you do the things that make the most impact. And for you, that's getting offers out there and communicating with those owners to get the property at the lowest possible price. Next, every day you should be actually studying what your quote unquote opponents are. And in this business, it's other land investors, it's wholesalers, but it's also people who own property, and you're understanding what they're thinking and what they're doing and why they're moving the way they move, why they're making the decisions that they make. Why are you doing this? Well, how are you going to make sure you say something that's going to entice them to sell to you if you don't understand where they're coming from? How are you going to zig when everybody else is zagging because you don't know what the competition is doing? That's half the reason why I don't go in those newbie-friendly land investing states, because I'm zigging where they're zagging. They go that way, I go that way. Over here is where there's untouched property, where people aren't really hitting up the owner. So now I don't have to have that battle. And in places where I am in a heavily competitive area, I got to see what they're saying to the owner so I don't say the same shit, so I don't become one of them. Here's one that I think you can put this in your pocket. This is a good one. A lot of times people say, I got an offer from somebody else. Am I going, you got an offer, or did you just sign a contract? Oh, I signed a contract. So what do you want? A contract or cash in your pocket? You see how that works? I zig when they zag. I make it easier for them because I understand what they're going through as a owner of property. I understand people could be bombarding them with offers that may be bogus, or people who have no skill to buy or sell that property. So I understand that. So like, how do I make it easier for them? So that way they don't worry about the wannabes and the newbies, and they go with me. That's part of actually studying your opponents. Finally, there's two other ones. One, visualize the game unfolding. Steph thinks about, the basketball game unfolding. I'm thinking about, how do I want my day to look? Part of my morning success formula. How do I want to win? How do I want to approach things? When I come into a problem, how do I maneuver around it and solve it or get around it? How do I see myself winning in the long term? Because it ain't gonna be just some $1 million deal. It's gonna be things that add up over time. It's gonna be building my war chest, meaning the amount of money I can invest. Start with a small seed and see it grow into a tree. That's what I'm gonna be doing, right? So you got to visualize that every day. Here's another trick that you don't know. Your brain does not know the difference between a memory and your imagination. It sees it as the same thing. A lot of us are trained from our bad memories, as in we have a memory of something, quote unquote, not going well. And then we let that, quote unquote, train us to do actions that show we're afraid, train us to, to make us shy away from the work that needs to be done. If you visualize enough, you can actually override those memories and then how you see those things and see it in a whole new light. A lot of times it's just how we look at the world will color what we think we can do. If we think we're a piece of shit and we'll never be nothing, I guarantee you, your brain will make sure that is correct. And every time you try to take a step forward, you will figure out a way to take 2 or 3 steps back, because your brain wants to be consistent with the vision you keep giving it. But it also works the other way. If you give it a vision of actually achievement, success, fulfillment, happiness, guess what? Your brain just, okay, I'll just work towards that. And that's how it works. Visualizing is very extremely important. And the final thing, mindfulness. So learning how to take a breath. So when things do come, when you do feel overwhelmed, in reality, there's no such thing as real overwhelm. You just got, it's kind of, I don't, what's the word I'm thinking? I'll say that for another time. When you feel a certain way and it's not the way you want to feel, and it's not helping you do the things that you need to get done on your daily, mindfulness, taking a breath, relaxing for a minute, not with electronic devices, but just closing your eyes, taking a deep breath, exhaling, letting it go. Take another breath, relax, exhale, let it go. And you get back to work. Okay. So as you can see, I talked about something that was less about tactics and more about the overall strategy of how to actually approach this every day. Again, success leaves clues. So again, treat every day the same, no matter what the stakes are. Make sure you get a good night's rest. Make sure you're drinking a lot of water so you have the energy. A daily routine for your land investing so you can stick with it. Make sure you study your opponents so you can zig while everybody else is zagging, and make sure you actually reach the people you need to reach and understand what they're thinking so you can help them easier as if you are in their brain. Visualize your day being successful and then practicing mindfulness. So here's the thing. Well, I know this was different. It's funny because when I was younger and I was learning how how do I pick up women? I was in the college basketball team. I thought, I have women falling all over me. That's not how it works. I didn't dress well. I didn't socialize the way I could have. And I was wondering, why am I not with the women that I like? Well, I was interested in women. I wasn't committed to doing the work to help me be more attractive to myself and to others. And it wasn't until I changed that until the latter happened. But it wasn't necessary just for that result. I had to fall in love with the process, because that's what you're going to be doing every day. That's the commitment that you're going to keep with yourself, that decision you're making, that this is going to happen. This is how I'm going to live my life. And something similar has to happen here with land investing, because you can't just wing it. Those who try to wing it, they don't do well. All right. I think that's it. Every now and then I like to go in my self-development bag because I know how important this is, but I also understand that not a lot of people, they want to hear that. Don't worry, we'll be back to our regular scheduled program next week, where I'll give you some other strategy that you're probably not going to apply unless you apply what I talked about today. All right, that's all I got for you. Hope you guys have a good week. Peace out.